Welcome, everybody, back to the Fighting's Final here on the Edge Philly Sports with your boy, Matty B, and the Phillies. It wasn't pretty, but they were able to pull out a 4-3 win over the San Francisco Giants tonight down there at Citizen Bank Park as they begin their little mini homestand. I guess it's not really a homestand, it's a mini homestand with a, as I said, not pretty, but effective 4-3 win over the Giants. And joining us once again down there at the park, Rock Hoffman. Rock, it's a little chilly tonight. Are you keeping warm down there at Citizen Bank Park?
Actually, I'm in shirt sleeves here. Other people here were all bundled up. It looked like it was ready for snow. But yeah, it was a little brisk down here. And I wonder if that is one of the factors that Aaron Nola struggled with his command tonight. I mean, we all know he's a Louisiana guy and loves that hot weather. This was not Louisiana hot weather here tonight at Citizens Bank Park. Game time temperature is 58 degrees. And for the first time in his career, he walked 4 batters in an inning, and that led directly to the Giants jumping out 2-0. The Phillies got back because the Giants pitcher, Jordan Hicks, struggled with command as well. He walked a couple guys in the third, and then they were helped out by an error, and the Phillies got 3. And then ultimately what turned out to be the winning run was on a pure hustle play by Trey Turner to score from second base on a passed ball. Unfortunately, it could come at a cost. He had to leave the game immediately after that play with some left hamstring soreness, so we'll have to see how that affects him going forward. But, pure hustle play and great. I mean, he the second the ball tipped off the glove of Murphy, the catcher for the Giants, he was in motion and never slowed up and scored. It was a close play at the plate. They reviewed it, and he was safe. But like I said, he did have to leave the game for that left hamstring soreness. So like I said, we'll see. And then the Phillies were really helped out twice. The Phillies are tied for 28th in baseball in turning ground ball double plays. They had 15 going into the game. They got 2 tonight, and both of them were huge. One in the third inning when the first 2 men reached, and they got a nice double play started by Alec Bohm, fielding the ball at third base, touching third, and bouncing it over to Bryce Harper in a nice play. And then they got another one in the 7th when the only Phillies relief pitcher who struggled, Ryan Kirkring, had loaded the bases with nobody out, and then he got a double play ball to get 2 outs, a run scored, but it kind of saw their way clear after getting that double play. So that the twin killings were huge for the Phillies tonight.
Rock, real quick, Aaron Nola, you mentioned, did not really look that sharp tonight. He had that 46 pitch second inning. Rock, a lot has been talked about lately, especially coming off of the Zach Wheeler start the other day, that this 6-man rotation thing, now that Ty Walker has joined the rotation, at least for now, might be throwing off some of the timing and rhythm of Wheeler and Nola. And they've said it before. They prefer to pitch on their 5 days, not 6. How much do you think that might be? And the laboring of Nola tonight, you mentioned it could be weather related. Is that a factor do you think the Phillies have to consider with going forward in this 6-man rotation?
Well, you know what? I looked it up, and Aaron Nola actually pitches fairly well on 6 days. He was coming in on 6 days rest. In his career, 6 days or longer rest, he's 7-7 with a 354 earned run average. So he's pitched pretty well in that situation. Granted, only 26 of his career starts have been in that situation. So a relatively small sample size. It certainly is something to think about. I mean, athletes and pitchers are creatures of habit. And you throw that out of whack a little bit, and maybe it does affect them. Zach Wheeler's stats and he was pitching on 5 days rest, and he's kind of wasn't very crisp in getaway day out in Anaheim. He's not as good on that amount of rest, but he's not terrible. So it's more probably a mind game than an actual physical thing for those guys.
You mentioned. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
Okay. You mentioned Trey. You mentioned Trey Turner, 2 for 3 before he left the game. And as you said, he kind of created that run, going home on a wild pitch, played small ball, stole second to get in position in the first place.
Yeah.
For Turner, for all of Turner's inconsistencies, and he's still somewhat inconsistent with the glove. And that's something I guess the Phillies are working every day to fix. But his inconsistencies last year, inconsistencies to start this season off that he kind of got rid of very early on. One, let's hope to God that injury is nothing serious. And number two, how valuable in this game, Hoffman, in this game, Rock, was Trey Turner to the Phillies?
Obviously, he was huge. I mean, that was kind of an infielder hit. It kind of ticked off the glove of the second baseman in that fourth inning. So he's safe there. Steals second base with 2 outs, and Bryce Harper at bat, and turns it into a run that you're probably not going to see too many times in a season. Is a guy going to be able to score from second base on a pass ball? If hardly ever. So it was an amazing play, really, for him to be able to do that.
Rock, Nick Castellanos continues his struggles. 0 for 4 again tonight, 2 more strikeouts, down to 180 batting average. Rock, where do you come out on the sit Nick Castellanos train?
You keep thinking, well, he's going to turn it around because he always has. And, right now it's not hurting the team. I mean, they're 11 games over 500 now. So, but at some point he's got to start hitting, or they're going to have to, I don't know what they're going to do. With that, maybe give him some rest. I don't think it's, the Astros made an extreme move, sending one of their guys down to, I think, their Florida Instructional League. I don't think you have to do anything that drastic with Castellanos, but certainly, he's got to do something. They need some offense out of him.
Yeah, I would advocate AAA, but I'm not going to set him down to rookie leagues. I mean, that's a little too much.
And it's not, and he's had a couple of points where you think, all right, he's got to get out of this. He's a home run, and you think, all right, well, he's got to start turning, and then he just kind of reverts back to form. So, it doesn't appear to be that he's going to be coming out of this anytime soon.
You also mentioned the some of the after Nola. You mentioned the Phillies got lucky with those double plays, but you can't really overlook the bullpen tonight. Matt Strahm, Sir Anthony, Kirkring might have had the weakest performance of the group. Hoffman and Alvarado really came up big in a situation where the Phillies really needed them to eat some innings tonight. You got to be impressed with what you saw.
Absolutely. Other than Kirkring, who gave 7th, all got on. And it led to 1 run. But other than that, it was a lights out from Strahm, Sir Anthony. Jeff Hoffman struck out the side. And then Jose Alvarado came in. Did allow a leadoff single, but worked around that to get out of it and preserve the game. And he gets the save. Matt Strahm gets credited with the victory. And the Phils win 4-3.
Rock, last question. 19-9 for April. So far, 2-0 for May. I'm a big believer, especially with this team in this era under this regime. May has been the month. May has been that month that has submarined these the last 2 Philly seasons with them even competing in the NL East. It really was the end of the NL East race for the Phillies at their last 2 Mays. But when you come out of April so strong at 19-9, and then you're off to such a somewhat hot start at 2-0 in May. Rock, should the fighting Phillies fans start believing in competing in the NL East?
You can. I'm not a big believer in it. You have to win the division, obviously, just get in the tournament, and we can see what happens. But it would be nice. I think Phillies fans feel like if we can at least compete with the Braves and not allow them to run away with it, put a little pressure on them in September. But it hasn't worked out for them the last couple of years. So, maybe if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So we'll see. Again, like I said, I'm not a big believer in this format that you have to go out and win the division. But, again, it would be nice if they were able to compete with them a little bit for the division.
All right, he's Rock Hoffman, live from Citizen Bank Park. Rock, thanks a lot for joining us again here on the Fighting's Final.
No problem, Matty B. Enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
All right, brother. Take care. All right, that was Rock Hoffman on live on the scene down there at CBP, along with the rest of the crew from EOP. Apparently, when did this thing come out? I must have missed the memo. Apparently, everybody went to the game. Well, no one told me. All I was like, yeah, no, Matt, you got the post-game show. Don't worry about it, man. Nothing to see here. We have full trust and confidence in you to run the post-game show. I didn't know they were going to the baseball game. But for those of you who are down at Citizen Bank Park, you might have seen the entire broadcasting crew of the Edge of Philly Sports roaming the park, except for this guy. I wasn't there. No, I'm just kidding. I knew all about it, but somebody had to do this. But EOP was down there at the park tonight, and they picked a pretty decent game. As I said, though, winter conditions, a lot of wool caps, a lot of hoodies. That's not baseball, folks. That is not baseball. I don't care what you say. Can't play baseball. Can't sit and watch baseball on that either, unless, of course, it is the playoffs. But the Phillies 4-3 winners over the Giants tonight. We unpacked a little bit about this. We're going to kind of build on that here in a second. Before we do that, I want to remind everybody that this show, or this episode of the Fightin's Final is brought to you in part by the great people over at the Streetlight Kitchen and Bar over at 5400 Fern Boulevard, Drexel Hill, PA. Don't forget, we will be back. That's right, the Fightin's Final crew will be back on site at the Streetlight on May 11th for the pre- and post-game live version of the Fightin's Final. And also, we will be giving out two more tickets to a future Phillies game, June 28th against the Marlins. Perhaps it won't be that cold that night. It's also a fireworks night. Come on down for your chance to win those tickets. You can't win unless you play, and you can't play unless you come down to the Streetlight on May 11th. We'll be starting our pregame show at 2:30. We'll stay through the game, and then we'll do the postgame immediately after. So please come on down and check us out. Let's head over to the comment machine because we got a few. I don't want to get too far behind. Star Wars 99 says, good bullpen game. Yeah, I mentioned that to Rock. I was feeling a little bit concerned there, Star Wars, that Nola's inability, and he labored. Let's face it, man. Nola labored tonight. 46 pitch second inning. Oh my God, is that a record? But they gave way to the bullpen in the fifth, and the bullpen really kind of held its own ground, except for Kirkering, who did not pitch too well, but he got out of it. That's the bottom line. Got to give him credit where credit is due. The bullpen has been sitting a lot lately, which is a good thing to have. Our starters have been giving us really quality late inning games, but tonight we needed them, and they definitely answered the bell. You're right, a great bullpen game. The only bullpen arm that was not great was Kirkering. Yeah, it was. He looked labored himself. I still believe in Orion Kirkering and what he will provide this team in the future. I do. But, trying to kind of figure him out or trying to work him in to whatever that role is. And again, I go back to this bullpen by committee stuff. Is this the right system for a pitcher in Kirkering who literally rocketed up the minor leagues last year? And now here he is, smack dab in the middle of the majors. Is this bullpen by committee system, does that suit a young pitcher like Kirkering? Or will he better suited in a more defined role, a more fundamental bullpen role, whatever that role might be? So time will tell. I'm concerned that might have some developmental problems for him, is not being in a defined role. But Kirkering did labor tonight a little bit, but still pitched what he had to do. Jeff says, great bullpen pulling this game out. Kirkering gave me a heart attack. Can he throw anything else besides the slider? He has a good fastball. He has an amazing fastball. Fastball has been clocked on average at around 98.6 miles an hour. I said on average, and I gave you the 0.6. I wanted to sound really, really on it. There was been some, we kind of went off that pitch selection thing back in the postseason. Remember when he was trying to slider his way through the Diamondbacks? Yeah, why not the gas? You're right, Jeff. Why not the gas? Star Wars says we are now tied with the Braves. Yeah, I mentioned the whole thing with Rock about the fantastic April 19-9, now 2-0 in May. Star Wars, listen, I'm going to give you what Matty B thinks about standing watching in May. I'm against it. I don't waste my time with it. I know that, and when I say I'm against it, I don't waste my time. I mean, I glance, but getting too involved or getting too wrapped around the standings in May is going to lead me to an early grave. I can't do that. I have enough stress in my life. I have enough negativity. I have more than enough negativity happening in my own little world that I don't need to add that standing stuff on. Now, I'm not saying, and I'm not criticizing those that do standing watch in May. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, as far as I am concerned, I look at the standings, but everything to me is relative until the All-Star break. Once the All-Star break hits, then I start looking at the standings. I start very, very much so concentrating on playoff races, wild card seeding, and all that. I can't go through that kind of drama in May, man. I can't afford it, man. Matty B's ticker can't take that. But yeah, we are now tied with the Braves. Daniel Barry says, yo, happy Friday, everybody. Daniel, how are you doing? Nick Castellanos needs to sit a couple games, let Whitfield play the bullpen. I agree, Jeff. I absolutely 100% agree. We have reached that point. But now it's Rob Thompson and his loyalty, which I'm not going to sit here and criticize a manager's loyalty to a player. But I am going to ask this. Does that loyalty have a boundary? We saw it last year with, what's his name? The pitcher, Kimbrel. We saw the loyalty with Kimbrel. We see the loyalty to Schwarber in the leadoff spot. I mean, at what point? We haven't seen Rob Thompson really haven't seen Rob Thompson deviate from loyalty to a point where it cost the Phillies in the Kimbrel thing. How much longer is Rob Thompson's loyalty to Nick Castellanos? And you heard Rock Hoffman say it. They're winning now, which is masking some of this, which is making it easier for him to continuously go back to him. But when the losses start coming again, how much longer will that loyalty last, and how much longer should it last? Because you're right, Castellanos has played himself onto the bench at a minimum. I'm not really advocating for him to be sent down to the minor leagues. I don't think that's going to help a player like him. But I am advocating he needs to sit. Let him sit for a series, not just one game, a 3-game set. We have a 2-game series coming up against the Blue Jays here at the beginning part of next week. We have a 4-game set with the Giants today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. Then we got a 2-game set with the Blue Jays before a day off. Why not give Castellanos those 2 days off, that Blue Jay series? Right? Let him play the rest of this thing. Maybe he works himself out of it over the next 3 games, whatever. But if he doesn't, let's take a serious look of putting him on the bench for the Blue Jay series. And then you factor a day off. That's 3 days out of the lineup. Maybe that's what it's going to take, but something else has got to give sooner than later with Nick Castellanos, because Rock said it. They're winning. Doesn't really seem to matter much. But when they're losing, we have a cold Nick Castellanos, and then we're putting in a cold Whit Merrifield to replace him. So why not be a little proactive? That's all I'm trying to say. Sorry, I still think Nola isn't that good, guys. No, listen, Mike, you have every right in the world to have lack of confidence and faith in Aaron Nola. I mean, he does seem to have that, he's like I don't know what you would call him. He's shown it before. He's shown ace stuff, but he doesn't show it consistently. What is his last 2 playoff appearances have been? In like a lion, out like a lamb. I mean, he comes in almost like going pitch to pitch with Zach Wheeler, and then he fades on down as we get closer. Nola is very, very up and down, but what Nola is also, he's very reliable and very durable. I mean, every 5th day he gets the rock and he goes out there and he throws. That is huge in this day and age, that he stays away from the arm injuries. Let me bang on some wood here because I don't want to be the guy that causes Nola to get Tommy John. But I understand your trepidations with Nola. I do. He shows ace stuff, but he doesn't show it consistently enough. And especially now that you think about the money he got from the Phillies, time will tell on that, right? But he labored tonight. 46 pitch inning. Where are the respects? On what? Star Wars respects on what? Mike says, set up before Casty, one player. Only player without a day off. It's time to give Pache a shot, or Witt and Wright. Now, let's go with Witt. Let's leave Pache on the bench. Let's go with Witt. And you're right. Why is Casty the only guy that hasn't had a day off? 33 games. What's going on there? And we obviously know what's going on. He's trying to work him out of this little funk he's in. But at what point does it become too much? At what point does it become kind of like a mockery of some things, right? Rob Thompson's loyalty has no boundaries. We've seen it. That's a great trait. Or is it? I think it's definitely time to have Castellanos sit for, as I mentioned, the 2-game set coming up against the Blue Jays. Anyway, let's head over to Mr. and Mrs. Box Score. For your line on tonight's game, damn it, I almost said the 49ers, man. I almost said the Giants would finish the day with 3 hits, 8 runs, 2 errors. Phillies, 4 runs, 6 hits, and an error. Offensively for the fighting Phillies, Kyle, don't call me a leadoff hitter. I've been here for years. 0 for 4 with a run and a strikeout. He's now batting .205. Trey Turner, before exiting in the 5th inning or 6th inning, whatever that was, it was 2 for 3 with a run, a strikeout. He's now batting .343. And let's hope to God whatever's wrong on with Trey Turner is a day off, maybe. And that's all that's going to cost him. Sosa came in for him and had 1 at bat, and he did have a hit. So Harper was 0 for 1 with 3 walks. So you know what? Harper got on base any way he could, trying to be productive, trying to do his part. Alec Bohm 1 for 4 with an RBI. JT 0 for 3. Brandon Marsh 1 for 4. Hit the ball somewhat harder tonight. Did drive in 2 runs, but he also had 3 strikeouts. That's not good. Castellanos, already mentioned, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Bryson Stott 1 for 4 as his struggles continue. And Johan Rojas 0 for 4 with a strikeout. For the San Francisco Giants, Lee, their center fielder, was 1 for 5 at the plate and 1 for 1 in the field with an amazing play. Running down that ball in the outfield. What was the stat track on that? Had him going at about 30 miles an hour. That was an absolutely amazing web gem if I've ever seen one. But he was 1 for 5 at the plate where it really matters for us. 2 for 3 was Wade with a walk. Conforto was 1 for 4. Murphy, the catcher, 1 for 3. Estrada, the second baseman, 2 for 4 with the 2 RBIs, the offensive superstar for the Giants on the night. On the pitching bump, Nola, 4 labored innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, 89 pitch, 4 innings of work. Unheard of 20 years ago in baseball. 89 pitches in 4 innings. Strom, Dominguez, Kerkering, Hoffman, Alvarado, as I mentioned earlier with Rock Hoffman, all came in to contribute to holding this game for the Phillies in place. Strom will get the win, and Alvarado will get the save, his 6th on the Giant side of things. Jordan Hicks, 4 innings himself, 4 hits, 4 runs. 2 of them were earned. 3 strikeouts and 4 walks. Jackson, Rogers, and Healy came in as well, pitching for the Giants to round out their pitching efforts. For the Phillies, and some of the notable statistics, they left 8 more runners on base tonight. They were 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. They also swiped 3 bases tonight. For the Giants, they were 8 runners left on scoring position, a pitiful 2 for 11 with runners left in scoring position. And there you have it, man. There you have it. The Phillies 4-3 winners tonight over them San Francisco Giants, getting back home on the winning, continuing the winning from the West Coast as they open up a mini 6-gamer at the bank over the next few days. And yes, tonight at EOP Appreciation Night, well, our self-imposed EOP Appreciation Night at Citizen Bank Park. The Phillies are not appreciating us. They're not holding an event for us, but the Edge of Philly Sports did attend the game tonight. Many of the personalities were in attendance. Of course, not the personality, but many of the lesser personalities were in attendance tonight. If anybody was at Citizen Bank Park, I sure as hope that you saw them and gave them a high five, slapped them in the face, do whatever it is you think you need to do. I guess the physical violence is out, seeing how I wasn't there, but I hope you made yourself present and said hi to them. They were having a good time, as I was told. So yeah, Ranger show you his good stuff. Yeah, Ranger, the newly anointed April National League Pitcher of the Month, Ranger Suarez, will be in that. We'll get the call tomorrow, so that's positive news for the Phillies. And Mike says, okay, good with that. Nola gives you 4 or 5, maybe 6. Your bullpen better be ready to pitch. But Nola traditionally does not give you 4 or 5 or 6. He traditionally gives you about 7 or 8. I mean, I believe that this start marked the first one all season, or maybe the second one, that he didn't go at least to the 7th there, Mike. So I get your Nola hate, man. Or I'm not going to say hate. I get your Nola concerns. I do. For the amount of time he's been here and all the hype that went around him, what really has he done? He's had really one good year, and the rest of his have been somewhat frustrating on other levels. I understand that. I am down with you, but I I still kind of, the situation that we had at the top of our rotation is a lot better than a lot of other teams have at the top of their rotation. And when it comes to the durability factor, you gotta factor that in. And I know Rock gave us some numbers about Aaron Nola on 6 days rest. I disagree with Rock Hoffman on this. I don't think Aaron Nola likes pitching on 6 days at all. I think he despises it. I think he wants 5 days. And obviously, I don't think he likes pitching in 58-degree weather or wherever it was down there at the frozen tundra of Citizen Bank Park tonight. I definitely think that had a factor in what was going on tonight, too. So, all in all, though, again, you got to give credit where Aaron Nola is due. Labored, but he got through 4 innings, and thankfully the rested bullpen was able to come through in a big way for the Phillies and help them out of a jam and get them the rest of the way through to the victory tonight over them Giants. Let's head over now to our, before we get to the Broad Street bottom line, let me remind you, everybody, that Dave Cherry, that's right, for your workman compensation, your motor vehicle accidents, your personal injury, and your criminal law, it's Dave Cherry to the rescue at 610-565-0300 at www.cherryinjurylaw.com. And Dolan's Bar down there at 25 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park. Don't know why I put that one up. That's the one we all want to see. Don't forget about their Wiffle Ball Mania on Saturday, May 25th. Mickey Morandini and John Kruk will be in the house for that. Make sure you head down to Dolan. Tell PJ and the gang we said hey. Tell Mickey and John that old Matty B said hey as well. Who knows? I might actually be in attendance for that. And don't forget, we got you covered all weekend. It's me tonight. Al will be back in the seat on Saturday. I will be back on Sunday. And our boy Sal will take you through the series finale on Monday. That's right. Friday through Monday, 4-game set. Ugh, that does seem so un-American. But that's your Fightins final crew for the weekend. I hope you like it because you're stuck with it. But let's now move on to the Broad Street bottom line here on the Fightins final. Alrighty, the Broad Street bottom line on tonight's Fightins final is brought to you by the good folks over at PhillySportsTrips.com. If you want to travel like the pros, if you want to travel like your sports teams, your Philadelphia sports teams, then you need to look no further than Philly Sports Trips because they got you covered. Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, Eagles, Union, you name it. If it's Philadelphia and it plays sports, it's going to travel with Philly Sports Trips. And this is just some of the stuff they have to offer you. They're going to Baltimore this summer. They're heading out to Wrigley this summer. They're going to Fenway this summer. They're also heading to Pittsburgh for PNC Park this summer. So head over to PhillySportsTrips.com right now so you can travel like the pros. All right, your Broad Street bottom line here on the Edge of Philly Sports tonight with your boy Matty B. It's got to be nothing other than Trey friggin' Turner and his offensive get up and go-ness tonight, right? That little sequence there where he was able to get on base, steal second on a delayed steal, mind you, not a straight up steal. It was a delayed steal and swipe second base in the process and then come all the way home on a wild pitch to give the Phillies a run is the essence of small ball. It is the essence of contact baseball. It's the essence of taking what the defense is giving you and making it yours. And Trey Turner pulled it off amazingly tonight. Again, let's hope it doesn't come at a major cost. Let's hope it doesn't come at extended period of time because that would just be the way, wouldn't it? He's starting to, he's been consistently knocking the cover off the ball. He's been consistently getting on base. Fielding needs some work, but now we wouldn't be the way that if he gets hurt and he's out for the next 10 days and all that goes, right? So let's hope that's not the case. But tonight for me, for your boy Matty B, my Broad Street bottom line was Trey friggin' Turner and his effort to create offense where there was none. Create offense where there was none. Get a run where there was none. And that, to me, was the reason why this team won tonight because of that aggressiveness. Let's hope it doesn't come at a major cost. That was my Broad Street bottom line. That's right, man. In the aggressive tone of Matty B. than my Broad Street bottom line. So, no, Trey Turner was amazing tonight. And that whole sequence was absolutely throwback old school baseball, that kind I miss. All right, let's head around Major League Baseball for Around the Bases. All right, Round the Bases tonight around Major League Baseball. Currently, games that are in progress. It is 0-0 Orioles and Reds in Cincinnati. In the middle of the eighth, or heading into the bottom of the eighth, it is 5-2 the Twins over the Red Sox. At the end of 7, it is 5-3 Astros over the Mariners. The Cardinals are up on the White Sox 3-0 heading into the eighth. 0-0 Marlins Athletics heading into the third. Top of the third, it is 0-0 San Diego and Arizona. The Braves, starting an interesting 3-game set out there in L.A. this weekend, are now up 1-0 on the Dodgers, heading into this bottom of the first inning, so they were able to get up on them. Interesting, very, very, I may have to actually watch that series. Yeah, it's a really good one. Games that have gone final: Milwaukee 3-1 winners over the Cubs. The Rockies 3-2 winners over the Pirates. The Nationals all over the Blue Jays 9-3. It was the Rays 10-8 holding on against the Mets. 2-1 Yankees over the Tigers. 6-0 Angels over the Guardians. And 7-1 Royals over the Texas Rangers. And there you have Round the Bases on this Friday night in Major League Baseball. And don't forget, folks, this series, the Phillies and the Giants, they'll be back at it tomorrow evening at Citizen Bank Park. That's right, tomorrow night, 6:05 pitch. Keaton Wynn going for the Giants, and he'll be opposed by the April National League Pitcher of the Month, Ranger Suarez, as he'll get to start tomorrow in front of the hometown fans. Head on down to Citizen Bank Park and show your appreciation to Ranger for what he accomplished in the month of April. Absolutely an incredible month for him, as he was rightfully named the NL April Pitcher of the Month. And don't forget, we got you covered here on the Fightin's Final, as we do every post game. And this is our one last shot at our weekend coverage this weekend. You got me, you got Al, you got me, and you got Sal. We're going to take you through this weekend. And what a way to get us started. Phillies 4-3 winners over the Giants. And tomorrow, let's keep this thing going. I hope it's warmer too, man. Come on, man. 56 degrees at game time in April. See, I said April because it felt like April. In May, just not having that. I want some nicer weather. I want some warmer weather. I want some baseball weather. I want it to be hitting season, right? So we can get off Kyle Schwarber's back for at least a month. But I guess I can't have everything I want. Until we talk again tomorrow, or until we're back here with the Fightin's Final, until Al has you, you guys take care and go Phils.